I work as a sustainability officer, and last year I helped organise a clothing swap for our local community. I had to prepare educational materials for the event and learnt a lot about sustainable fashion. I realised that I just had too many clothes, too many that didn't fit me, too many that made me feel bad about myself, too many that no longer suited my lifestyle, and too many that I should dispose of but hadn't committed to how or where I would dispose of them. To help me work through all this, I decided to do a clothing audit and clean up my cupboard and set up a journal to help me organise all this. We're going to go through my journal setup and I'll talk you through my objectives for this clothing audit, my colour palette, what a sustainable wardrobe might look like, my style now and what I think I'll wear in the future, my audit tracker and action tabs, clothing categories, and then finally I'll discuss my next steps. This is actually going to be the first part of a 2 or maybe even 3-part series. In this first part, I won't actually make any decisions about clothes, I'll just set up the process. In my follow-up video, which I will do soon, you'll watch me fill out the pages in my journal while I go through each item of clothing and decide what I'm going to keep and what I'm going to throw out. It will be a useful process to watch because hearing how I've decided on what to keep might help you make decisions about your own clothes. I am thinking about a third video, maybe in a year's time, that reflects on the whole process and whether I made good wardrobe choices and whether I feel like I've achieved my objectives. I'm thinking about tracking how often I wear the items I do keep, so my journal will continue to be useful. I very deliberately chose a journal with numbered pages for this project because I need to be able to refer to these sections easily. I was happily writing away, setting up my index, and made a mistake, and rather than just cover it with white paper, I decided to use coloured dot grid paper to brighten up the page. I'm also using a washi tape set with bright colours and butterflies. It came as this set. Hang on, I'll just show you. It's very pretty. At the front of the journal, I have all the planning behind my wardrobe audit, and then the rest of the journal is just photos of my entire wardrobe. But we'll talk more about that later. So let's talk about some of my objectives. Firstly, I want to minimize my carbon footprint. Obviously, I don't want to clear out my wardrobe and immediately have to go out and buy more clothes. Actually, I want to make very considered clothing choices, making the most of what I have and making sure that if I do give away my clothes, that they go to an appropriate destination. I'll talk about this more when I talk about sustainability. I want to simplify my daily choices of what to wear. I don't know if you've ever heard about Barack Obama or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. They all said that taking away the choice of what to wear each morning saves them time and makes their preparations in the morning more efficient. It also makes shopping more efficient because you've got less outfits that you need to coordinate. I desperately want to make my wardrobe a positive space. I was pretty much the same weight all my life. Then when menopause arrived, I put on weight and now I look in my wardrobe and I would say about 2/3 of the clothes in there don't fit me at the moment. I do still harbour hopes of losing weight and fitting into them again, and that's not a far-reached dream because it's only 10 kilos, but looking at these clothes at the moment doesn't drive me harder to lose weight, it just makes me sad. Whether I put these clothes in storage or give them away, cleaning them out of my wardrobe is bound to make me feel just a little bit better about myself each morning. I want to reduce wastage and make sure that my clothes are worn. I have dresses in my wardrobe that I haven't worn for 30 years. Those dresses could have been worn by someone else, made someone else happy, and made more use of all the resources that went into making that item, whether it was cotton, wool, silk, the water, energy, oil, or whatever. The next 2 points, reducing clutter and reducing storage space used by clothes, are both related to my future goal to downsize how I live. Clutter has a way of weighing you down, constantly looking at you and making you feel like you should be doing something with it. There are many clothes in my wardrobe that I am highly unlikely to ever wear again. They might be something that is so small I can't realistically see it ever fitting me again, or it might be a style or for a particular use, like formal dresses, that I have no use for. They're good candidates for selling. Being a sewer, so I sew a lot. I've sewn wedding dresses, normal dresses, handbags, all sorts of things. I love sewing. But that brings its own pressure, because if I sat down and dedicated some time, I could pretty much repair anything. I need to go through my sewing pile and decide what really will get worn if I fix it and if it's worth repairing. Finally, I want to focus on keeping clothes that make me feel good. I have so many clothes in my wardrobe that I wear because they're comfortable, respectable, and fit me. They don't make me happy. I'm hoping that cleaning out my wardrobe will allow me to focus on clothes that make me feel good, and that might then help to improve my body image. Okay, so have you ever heard of doing a colour analysis? I did mine many years ago. Basically, you look at the colours that suit your skin tone and make you look well. Skin tones either have a blue base or a yellow base, so they're either cool or warm. The colour analysis splits the groups of colours into seasons. Summer colours are cool and full of soft blues and pinks. Autumn or fall colours are warm with lots of muted greens and browns. Winter colours are cool and bright and have much more contrast than the summer colours. And then spring colours are like jewels. They're fresh and sparkling and full of colour, and they're on the warmer side. I'm a true summer and have always leaned towards those soft blues and pinks, but I do occasionally make a mistake and buy black clothes and clothes that are just too warm for my colouring. They make me look drawn and tired and can even emphasise fine lines and wrinkles. I've got really bright blue eyes and they can just disappear when I wear browns or warm greens. If the clothes in your wardrobe all fit your season, it will be easier to mix and match the items and choose an outfit to wear. As I mentioned, having a sustainable wardrobe was the reason I started this whole project. You might think that it's more sustainable to keep the clothes you own because you've bought them and they might go to waste if you give them up. But actually, finding a good home for your clothes, whether you sell them, donate them to a charity that will resell them, or giving them to a friend, is far better than them taking up space in your wardrobe, not being worn, and possibly deteriorating to the point they can't be worn. This happens in particular with clothes that have elastic or stretchy fabric. In 2022, the Hot or Cool Institute did a study and decided that a sustainable 4-season wardrobe has 84 items. There's also research that's been done that shows women have about 19 pairs of shoes on average. I have nearly double that amount of shoes, and I am embarrassed to say I have over 500 items of clothing, including some accessories, but mostly clothing. That is crazy. I'm not aiming to get down to 84 straight away. That's a big jump. Somehow, Australia is the largest consumer per capita of fashion, so each per person. Particularly fast fashion. We buy 27 kilograms of clothes a year and we throw out about 23 kilograms. The second most clothes per capita was Japan and the USA was third. This is filling up our landfills fast, or it's being like when you throw it out, it gets shipped to other countries where it fills up their landfill or causes pollution problems under the guise of potentially being recycled, but usually ending up in massive piles that blow around in the wind. Just have a look online at fast fashion impacts and you'll be horrified at where it's ending up. It's not good enough quality to repair, so it just gets thrown out. I want to find sustainable options for disposing of the clothes I no longer need, whether it's by donating them to a clothes swap, selling them, donating very good clothes to charity shops, or finding a clothing recycler who collects fabrics specifically for rags or for industrial purposes. Please don't ever take clothes to a charity shop that are dirty, damaged or misshapen, because they will end up in landfill so fast you'd be shocked. My local government office subsidises waste collection from clothing charity shops because they get so much dumped on them that they can't resell. Old clothes collection and recycling facilities are becoming more common because people have become more aware of what an issue fashion waste is. Make sure you look into the shops that say they'll collect your clothes and find out where they send them and what they're used for, because not all of them have good recycling programs. Finally, I prefer to find local solutions for my clothes so that I can avoid contributing to climate emissions from shipping and transport. Okay, let's move on to style. I am not the most stylish person in the world. That's not what this is about. This journal spread is about thinking through what clothes you wear now and also what clothes you expect to wear in the future. That way, when I'm trying to decide whether to keep a formal dress or a ballet leotard, I can look at my style summary and decide whether I'm likely to need them again. This could even be for something as simple as corporate or work-related clothes. My style now is fairly casual. I live in a climate that has 4 seasons, ranging from about 0 degrees Celsius in winter to 38 degrees Celsius in summer. So reasonably cold and pretty hot in summer. At home, I wear trackies. Australians call them trackies or tracky dacks. I think some of you might call them sweats. I wear those. I wear t-shirts, denim shorts, baggy jumpers and sneakers. Basically, I don't care what I look like. No one can see me at home. I very rarely have people dropping in. I just want to be comfortable and yeah, that's my main focus. My local government office where I work is pretty low-key and I no longer feel pressure to wear high heels or makeup or suits and corporate dresses. In the past, I did work in offices like that. Instead, most days I wear pants, flats and jumpers or shirts. I work in the environment team, so occasionally I have to go out in the field and I have to wear safety gear like hard-wearing pants, long-sleeve shirts, steel-cap boots and fluoro vests. This is all very sexy, of course. When I go out, I often wear the same clothes I'd wear to work, kind of smart casual, pants or jeans, a nice top and flat shoes. The people I spend time with are outdoorsy, low-key, not particularly concerned about fashion, so they're not really going to be that concerned with what I'm wearing. Most of my outdoor adventures involve kayaking, cycling or hiking, so I need clothes for those activities. When we switch to the future, I don't see myself working in an office for many more years. I will be doing more outdoor activities, travel, and generally keeping it casual. I can't imagine I'll be dressing up very often. All this aside, I do really like pretty and feminine clothes. I love skirts and dresses, but some of the skirts and dresses I own now don't fit the vision of what I would like to wear. They're too straight or tight or formal. I do hope to lose some of my post-menopause weight at least, so I can fit back into some of my favourite items. This is a very personal page, and you might be really into fashion or minimalist style, or you never wear sweats and you love your high heels. That is absolutely fine. The purpose here is to define what you like and try to narrow it down so that you don't end up with clothes in your wardrobe that you'll never wear. At the bottom of the page here, you can see that I've added some pictures of what I'd like to wear that would make me feel good. I love 1940s style clothes, and I love colour, layers and lots of volume with ruffles, longer sleeves and big skirts. It's not fashionable at all, but it's interesting and fun to me. Just looking at this page, I know there's a lot of clothes in my wardrobe that don't fit with either my current or my future style vision. Alright, we're finally getting into the actual audit now. We've learned a bit about why we're going through our clothes and our motivations. Now let's get into the process. Take a stock take of absolutely every single piece of clothing for you in your house. I included my mending pile because I want to make a decision about those things too. I also included accessories like hats, bags and scarves, and I included shoes. I have some spare pages at the back of my journal, so if I'm feeling motivated in the future, I might also audit my jewellery collection because there's definitely items in that I don't wear. The only thing I haven't included is my wedding dress. I know it's there. It's hanging up. It got damaged at the dry cleaners after my wedding years ago, so it's a definite mending project to remove all the discoloured beads and replace them with something else. I could have cried. It's such a beautiful dress that I want to fix it so someone else will be able to wear it. The stock take can be photos like I did, but that's a lot more work. It took me ages, or it could just be a list. You don't need to do all those categories. You might just choose the main clothing categories, like your tops, your bottoms, your dresses, and your outerwear, like your jumpers. There's no need to do all the accessories and everything else. I just wanted to. A popular way to handle this kind of audit, it doesn't need to be in a journal. It could be an Excel or numbers spreadsheet. I chose to do a journal because I like journaling and I want to refer back to it over the next year. I'm also a very visual person and the photos help me remember which item I'm referring to. The first thing next I'm going to do is go through my photos and decide on the definite keepers. Ones that there's not a hint of doubt that I want to keep them. For the remainder of the clothing items, I'll go through each one and think about First of all, what weight I need to be for it to fit me. Is it damaged or worth fixing? Does it fit my colour palette? Does it make me feel good? And does it fit my future or current lifestyle? Clothes will then be sorted into different groups. Items that are too small for now, but I can't bear to give away because I hope to wear them again, will go into storage. Some will be donated, some I'll sell, and some will be sent off for recycling, and some I'll mend. These last 2 points we'll discuss when I go over the page. I'll go to the action tabs first because we just talked about this. I've created stickers for each action on this page. So I've got stickers for donate, that's this one, for sell, for, for mending, for reimagining. So if I need to completely restructure the garment and it's a proper sewing job, not just a quick repair or replacing a button or fixing a hole. And then I've got the recycle bin. So under those 2 categories, I'm going to note down places that I can donate clothes, and that includes clothing swaps. And then I'll note places that I can discard of clothes where they might actually recycle the clothes for some other use. I have, and then there was also the keep it sticker. So I'll stick them on each item. Then I have my weight category stickers. So a healthy weight, where I was always happy with how I looked, was between 70 and 75 kilos. Anything that needs me to be smaller than that, I'm going to have to let go, because there's only been very short periods of my life where I've been smaller than that. That's this pink sticker here. If an item falls into that category, it's immediately going to have to be sold or given away. Then I've got 70 to 75 kilos, and that stuff will go into storage if it's something I really love, and then I'll keep out anything else. So these other 2 categories I'll keep out, because even if it's a little bit small at the moment, I really wouldn't have to lose a lot of weight for them to fit me again. Don't forget, I mentioned earlier that I was in the low 70s for most of my life, so which is an Australian size 12. So this is definitely going to be the majority of my clothes, and this is where I'll have to make the biggest decisions. On the left here, you can see each of my clothing categories and a whole bunch of numbers, including some extras because I had a lot of tops and a lot of activewear. If we look at the tops, I've coded each item of clothing. So let's go over here. Like this first one is marked T1, and then we've got T2, T3, etc. If I don't keep T1, I will cross it off the tracker here. I'll just put a cross through the 1. If I store it, keep it in my wardrobe, or it remains in my mending pile, it won't get crossed off. I'm aiming to at least halve my wardrobe initially, because like I said, I've got over 500 items. That's only going to bring it down to just over 200, maybe 250 items, which is still too many. So I will have to cut further, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. So my first goal is just to halve it. Don't worry, it took me decades to collect over 500 items of clothing. I'm not a mad shopper. It's more that I never give or throw anything away. I have taken a few things to charity over the years, but yeah, I have hung on to a lot of things that I do love, but I just haven't worn. The rest of this notebook is full of the pictures of my clothes and accessories. As I explained, each item was photographed and then next to it I've added the code. T is for tops, including t-shirts, dressy tops, dressy shirts, singlet tops, long sleeve, short sleeve. D is, well, there's lots of those. We'll keep going. Dresses, so D is for dresses, and that includes formal dresses right down to casual t-shirt dresses, like this one. Then I've got B for bottoms, and that includes skirts, pants, shorts, all those sorts of things, denim jeans, all those. Then I've got outerwear, which includes jackets, coats, knitwear, jerseys, things like that. Then I've got underwear, which includes sleepwear, it includes lingerie, stockings, just my normal underwear. Won't dwell on that too much. Then I've got my active wear, which is, I think I've given that the code A. Yeah, A. And that is, right, so there's a bit of a mix in here. It's a pretty significantly sized section. I've got my thermals, ski gear, hiking gear, then I've got cycling, dance clothes and yoga clothes, then I've got kayaking gear, and then I've got hats that are specifically used and gloves that are specifically used for kayaking, hiking, etc. And then I've got tennis skirts. So a bit of a mix there. Then I've got my accessories section, which includes the rest of my hats, scarves, belts, and handbags. Then I've got my shoes section. This is the last one, so just all my shoes. And that's a mix of boots and high heels. I've got a few of my outdoors shoes, but there is a couple more in my cupboard that I didn't put in here, like my mountaineering boots and my kayaking boots and things like that. They're very specific to a task, and I will keep them because they're specific. Quite obviously, my next step is to do the audit. I will go through each individual item, and in each of these boxes, I will add stickers for the action I intend to take, so these ones. And for some, I will add a weight sticker, mainly if I'm unsure whether to keep it or not. If I'm definitely keeping it, then I won't use a weight sticker. And then I might add some notes if I'm having trouble deciding whether or not to keep it or whether to give it away. I think if I think I'm going to mend it, I'll make some notes also about the required repairs, like does it just have a hole, does it have a broken seam, does it need something else fixed? And also if I'm going to restructure it, what I think the item could be used for. Hopefully, once I sort everything out, I actually do what I've decided in my box here, and I store, give away, or sell them. We'll see. I'm determined not to take the easy option and just throw things in the bin or give them to charity shops. Those two steps are definitely my last options if I can't think of anything else to do with the items. I hope you're inspired to give this a try yourself. The most shocking thing is definitely realizing how many clothes and accessories you actually own, and it really makes you think twice before you buy anything new. The process is not about taking the joy out of getting new clothes. It's simply about making you think a bit more before you buy something new. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.